Hello, welcome to another video. Did free-to-play ruin Halo Infinite? Now, this is the last day before the next update. I don't even know what the next operation is. I don't know if they've marketed it at all. I don't think I'm going to end up clearing it this... What the heck? This season operation. Am I that worried about it? No, I didn't really care about this this operation too much, but we're playing some Husky Raid because it's good, dumb fun. But in a recent video I uploaded that's getting a lot of likes and attention and new subscribers, everything, thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough for the love and support on the channel. If you like the videos, be sure to leave a like. If you want to subscribe, help the channel. Helps out a bunch. But, oh, this piece of shit, eh? I got a lot of comments talking about the whole customization, people's ideas, why they, think that it's kind of went to the shitter in a way. And what I was getting more and more of is, well, that's bullshit. But a lot of people were talking about the game being free to play as being like the main big problem. And I didn't think about it too much at that point, if I'm being honest. The whole free-to-play aspect of it. And I didn't really think about it when I talked about the whole customization thing. I was more worried about, the fact of there not being a real good progression system at all in the game, which I still, stand by. There really isn't a solid progression system. Thinking more about it, I would lean that I don't think necessarily just the pure fact that it's free to play, that just instantly doomed it to be terrible forever, And there's obviously been games that are free to play that have done insanely well. Most of the games in like today's day and age really have done free to play how you're supposed to do free to play. But you look at, the big games within, like, the last, like, let's say 6 years at this point. Holy shit, I'm getting old. Stuff like Fortnite, Call of Duty's kind of, with the Warzone's gone this way. So many games have transitioned to fully free-to-play. And they've found crazy success with the fact of in-game purchases, having a shop, all this stuff. And they do updates all the time. They also do have a progression system in most of these games. So I don't want to just be like, yep, the fact it went free to play killed the game. Because I think that would be doing it a bit of a disservice. But I think the fact that Halo Infinite was free to play kind of amplified the fact that they weren't ready for release like people thought they one should have been. What did I just do? I don't know what I just did with that thing, but I'll take it. It seems like it was a serious thing. While I don't think that free-to-play ruined Halo Infinite, I don't think it helped it. I think that it kind of just kind of put in the spotlight of how unprepared the game really was, which makes sense. The game was released a year later than everyone really anticipated, right? And the main thing of it's delayed was the fact that they need to work out so much technological stuff of the game, make it run well, make it feel finished, that when it came to the actual content behind the game and everything, it just wasn't there. And like then it was like, okay, it's free to play, which obviously it's great for the fact of like just the fact that anyone with an Xbox or PC gets the ability to play it, like, that's great. Everyone thinks that's great. But when you don't have, like, a good plan or roadmap type of whatever thing you really, like, want to call it, just a good idea of what you're going to do in the future of this, you don't have stuff planned out, it can really start to catch up with you, I think, and you really start getting behind. And then you have situations where I think it was season 2 for Halo Infinite that lasted like 9 months kind of thing, and then it got stopped by an update. Like, it was almost a year, which is so bad. And then the prices in the shop were so bad. A lot of that has been like ironed out now, so now they're at like this kind of ease pace, but they don't have the bones that so many other free-to-play games have in progression and stuff. And now with like the operations and stuff and the game being free-to-play has it in like such a weird spot. Like I don't know what the full outcome, positive outcome like from 343 is with this whole situation of like you get the free operations, like they're free while it's live, minus the starting reward thing, but the fact of you have it free as long as it's live, you can churn it all out and you're good to go. It's feels like this weird kind of desperation-y kind of thing in a way, because like in a way, like obviously on paper it sounds great, it sounds awesome, like all this free stuff, all the, you know, here you go, as long as you play the game. But then it's like you're trying to make us only play your game, you know? It's like this drip feed kind of BS. It makes it such a weird situation, and like I understand that they try to do you know, some new stuff with the free to play with in terms of seasons, and it just seems like so much of it has just failed and failed and failed when it comes to just this model, this free to play model. I don't think it should have been free to play, but me saying that, I like the game I think I would want if it wasn't free to play. I don't think it would have came out until like, honestly, probably around now, which sounds absurd. It sounds crazy, but I genuinely think the free to play stuff wasn't, you know, the Halo Infinite plan since day one. I think that kind of got, you know, switched. I have like a conspiracy in my head that like when the game was delayed and they knew like once shit was starting to happen, because like sure we found out the game was getting delayed a year before it ended up really, you know, it was a year-long delay. People that work on this stuff, you know, the ins, I'm sure they would have had ideas. They would see writing on the wall for certain things, and I'm sure the fact that the game was not, you know, going as well developing wise as they had hoped, they had an idea. And my kind of like big brain conspiracy is that they pivoted to make it free to play to try and get some goodwill. I don't think they had the systems to make people be like, oh yeah, this game is definitely worth paying for, because so much it seemed like got worked into the shop, which you could say, which I wouldn't, you know, fully, you know, if you want to debunk that by being like, well, everything that was in the shop, they could probably just have made it available for people to get, you know, in the game or whatever, if it was a paid thing. So if that was to have been the thing, I would have been okay with that. But then I would also, like, in the back of my head think, they didn't have a system to, like, reward you unless they just had the Battle Pass system as, like, the only progression system, which I guess would have to have been it, which also it just would have sucked, but it would have looked in a different fucking way. And to just say, like, the normal things that are bad about free-to-play stuff, you know, the stuff that you can't see, but, you know, is there. The fact of, like, development for paid shop items is definitely more than the development for free-to-play or stuff in battle passes, or, you know, stuff that the actual game is. Which I think is true with every game. Like, everything in my head that went wrong with Infinite, obviously, everyone knows the release was awful. Which is, again, what I genuinely would say most of the bad shit came from. The fact that, like, at release, the game didn't seem prepared to actually release. And if they had some form of progression that didn't feel shitty, it would have helped in so many ways. Like, the fact that, like, they had 3 goddamn playlists on day one. Why did this game release even when it did? It's so hard, because it's like, yeah, I want to play Halo. I'm glad it's been out for however long it's been out. But it just feels like the game would have benefited so much from not being out. Now, I want to reiterate this, because I talked about it in the last video, and I just want it to be, like, known that I'm not asking for this progression system that's something like Call of Duty that tries to copy with, like, with loadouts and, like, all that kind of stuff, you know, and, like, locking weapons behind leveling up and everything like that. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for the sandbox and all this stuff to have, like, these arbitrary locks because of certain things. All I want is to feel rewarded for putting time into the game by genuinely seeing progress for putting in effort, which they started to do with the fact of, oh, let's add a progression system to have, like, a ranked, but then the rewards for it, they decide to just punt. It's the worst thing that they missed on since release. The fact that they did a really good thing by adding the progression rank system. There's a ton of them. It's actually absurd. If you look it up, because I remember when I was first doing it, and I learned that to get the Master Chief armor, you have to max that out. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I wonder how much, you know, it will actually take to do that. Can't be, like, anything too crazy. Well, I looked at the list, and it's actually just absurd how many ranks there actually is in this. It will take a while to get to that max rank, which is good. That's fine. It's going to give some people to actually put time in and, like, have, like, a long-term kind of goal that's in the back of your head that's like, you know, if I keep playing and I get these ranks and everything, at the end of the road, guess what? I get a pretty cool fucking armor set that I actually want. And the biggest problem that they decided for some odd reason to do with this whole free-to-play, with this whole new progression system, is to have all these ranks and have basically no rewards for any except for the very end. Why? Everything else seems like it has this kind of twist that's like this free-to-play twist where it's, let's drip feed you so that you stick around, you know? So you don't have time to play other stuff. You're just going to end up playing this because it's the easy thing. You're used to it. Why is there not a slow progression system which you just put in the game that actually rewards you slightly every time? So there's this little dopamine little thing that's like, ooh, I'm going to keep playing for the next bit. Makes no sense. It's such a miss. I can't believe that they fucked that part of it up as badly as they did. It's a shame. It really is a goddamn shame that the progression system that they added to the game a year after, at least, I don't even know how, it could be even longer than a year, when the game was actually released, that the progression ranking system in casual, like just your character's ranking kind of thing, not actual ranked, was added in the game. It's batshit crazy to me. That makes no sense. It never will. I don't understand what the thought process was behind that whole situation and the progression with Infinite. They're trying to do like little bits of both, it feels like, and it feels like both are just so piss poor. It's just bland, you know? I said my piece in my last video in the fact of I would want a more fleshed out progression system, which definitely would mean pay to play multiplayer, which every other Halo has been. Most of them have had good progression systems when it comes to getting customization and stuff in it. Someone mentioned Halo 4's customization. I never played Halo 4 except for an MCC. And MCC is its own thing. And MCC's customization, I learned recently, is awesome. I don't understand why they didn't just shoehorn that into Infinite and just go run with that. It makes no sense to me. It's just, dude, they screwed so much of this, and I do think this switch to free to play really was the catalyst that threw it all off, in the fact of like their mindsets of what to work on and what the systems of the actual game should have been. But overall, yeah, like I think free to play was kind of like such a gut punch for customization and mainly the progression for Halo Infinite's multiplayer that it just never kind of caught its feet with, and sometimes it would get close and then it would change, and it's been such a mess. I don't understand why they decide to do so much outlandish changes and everything with Infinite when it comes to the progression and the customization compared to stuff that worked like in Reach and now in MCC. Like, I don't know. I'll never get it, but that's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Peace out.